All right, welcome back to Save America, Vote Tulsi Gabbard. I want to thank everybody who's subscribed to this page. It's kind of humbling. It's exciting. It's humbling. It's almost a little perplexing. But, you know, they used to, in the old days, when it came to, you know, being successful, they always said, find a need and fill it. So my page, apparently my channel here, I've found a need, and I'm filling it. The need is for voices from the right or wherever. You know, I don't even know where I am on the ideological spectrum anymore. I don't even know. I do know that Tulsi Gabbard is the best presidential candidate I have seen in my lifetime, period. I know that's a big statement to make, but I can't think of who else. You know, I voted for Trump because Trump was a wrecking ball, and I just wanted to wreck the system. I figured it was him or Hillary, and Hillary was the same thing, and I think Hillary would have taken us into even more war, if that's possible. She just would have had different players. She may have hired some of the same people, though. Wouldn't surprise me. But Trump has outdone himself with Mike Pompeo and John Bolton, okay? It's just Elliot Abrams, who looks like Smithers from, you know, The Simpsons. He's rubbing his hands together looking for a country to exploit. And this is not stuff that I voted for. This is, of all of the policies that Trump could implement, okay, or not implement, or control, the anti-war stuff was even Jill Stein, if you remember, talked about this, saying he's better than Hillary. Apparently he doesn't want to blow everybody up, and she was just being honest, and it looked like he was serious, and now we have been duped. So as a country, we've got to rein this in, because we're putting all of our money, literally all of our money. That's why we're $21 trillion in debt, and the Pentagon can't find $21 trillion. Bad accounting. And nobody, this should be a headline, by the way, that is repeated day after day. You notice how the media doesn't ever dig into the Pentagon, what they've lost, and talk about the lives. Remember they had, at least during George W. Bush for a while, didn't they have and it's very morose and very morbid and so forth, but they had like a death toll of how many soldiers. I mean, and for a brief time, the country was focused on maybe anti-war. Again, John Kerry, another corporatist, another guy who would have eventually just changed strategies, okay? But he's definitely a guy who would have just kept the thing going. And it's really tragic, though, that we're at this point where we're kind of fighting for our political life, or just our existence. And I'm here because of all that. I'm here because there needed to be a bridge between where I was and where I am now. And I can empathize with Trump people, where a lot of progressives just so hate Trump. It tends to be people more on the left, like the tribal left, that they can't believe that this guy with no experience at all got to the White House. And a guy who was a really good, you know, shyster and a charlatan to some degree. They can't believe it. But their alternative that they presented was Hillary Clinton. And by the way, that's the alternative they wanted, because they screwed Bernie Sanders. And I was saying this even when I was supporting Trump. I'm saying, I can't believe what they did to Bernie. I was actually looking forward to the Bernie-Trump, because I thought that would have been, like, you've got the two philosophies. You've got populist right versus populist left, and they fight it out. And, you know, Trump turned out to be a neocon because of what his family has done and the people he's surrounded himself with. Bernie, let's hope that Bernie, a lot of people tell me in these comments they think Bernie will kind of succumb to what the military generals and the industrial complex tells them to do. And if that's the case, you know, I don't know, can it be fixed? You know, it's kind of like climate change. Can it really be fixed? I mean, if we're the only ones in the world doing anything about it, can it really be fixed if the Earth is warming up? I mean, I just don't know if it can be fixed. I don't know if that can be fixed, and I don't know if Bernie can't stand up to it, which that's the problem with Bernie. A lot of people feel as though he can't stand up to these people and actually follow through. Tulsi is the only one, I think, in the race who can do it. I think Tulsi is tougher than Donald Trump. I know it. I think because Trump can't articulate himself what he wants, he has to basically have a translator. I could just imagine this at the White House. I'm just, of course, speculating. I don't have proof. But there's got to be him, another guy, and John Bolton in the room. And they go back and forth, and Bolton says something, and there's a guy who explains it to Trump, and Trump says something back, and that guy says it to Bolton. And, they go back and forth, and Tulsi doesn't need that translator, okay? Tulsi has a very strong and firm foreign policy. And that's why I'm putting all of my eggs into her basket. Now, if she fails for some reason, she can't get there. The only reason she's not going to get there, and please quote me on this and mark the videotape here, mark the moment, about 6 minutes and change into this video. If Tulsi doesn't make it, it's going to be because the media destroyed her somehow. The media industrial complex. There is a military one, and then they're kind of intertwined because one does the bidding for the bigger one, which is the military. And all of these corporations are all ensnared, and that's why, why Tulsi did so good over the weekend? Independent media. Yeah, people got the word out to one another. And this is what we're going to have to do. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. YouTube is a platform that does do some censorship, mostly, monetary censorship, but a lot of times they'll pull videos down that are like this, that are blunt and tell the truth about. Kim Iverson was saying that some of her videos were all being demonetized because she was talking about Nancy Pelosi, and I'm like, wow, you're being demonetized. See, us me being from the right, I'm going, Nancy Pelosi, isn't Nancy Pelosi like somebody who you can make fun of? I mean, again, I come from the right. There's a lot of Botox there. There's a lot of stuff to work with. And there's more to work with than just that stuff. And that's, honestly, I shouldn't have said that because we kind of need to get away from that sort of making fun of people and, orange man bad, with Trump. He is kind of an interesting looking dude, and he's got the hair issue. And, at first that was going to be kind of a plus for him, but now it's just, he's a weird looking president. He looks like he's always eating too many cheeseburgers, and he's a tired man. He's 72. I'm not saying 72 is over the hill, but he's a tired man, and he needs to maybe take a rest, and hopefully maybe he won't run. You never know. Donald Trump, very unpredictable. Maybe he won't run, and we can hope, and then if he doesn't run, though, there's a big problem, because then Mike Pence runs, and the ultimate neocon. Then you'll have a neocon, by the way, who doesn't need the translator between him and John Bolton, and they'll just be, yeah, let's go to Venezuela, let's do this. And meanwhile, there's a whole bunch of people that can't get health care. I don't know. So the conundrum between Tulsi Gabbard and the conservative people that are liking her is that the progressive people don't like that. I don't think they really like it. I mean, the people that are coming over to this page are like, yeah, it's good that you're out here and you're saying this stuff. But a lot of times in these interviews, it's almost like they're trying to dig under the hood and say, you know what? Stephen Bannon talks about you, even though we don't have a verified quote or anything. Stephen Bannon's been talking about you. And, in that Stephen Colbert thing, he says that David Duke likes her. That had to take a little bit of research. I mean, who's gonna, who looks at what David Duke has to say? I mean, that's just, I don't know. I don't think I could do that kind of research. I mean, let's see what David Duke has to say about Tulsi Gabbard. Or, he's out there spouting. Who's paying any attention to him? Shouldn't he have been marginalized, like, out of society at this point? But the fact that he's out there, people are going to use him to kind of hit Tulsi over the head with. I mean, see, and this is what I hate about politics, and this is what I hate about tribalism, okay? I think Tulsi Gabbard is the first candidate that I've seen in a long time that does not do tribalism. She does Americanism. She does peopleism. She does solutionism. Okay? And I think all of those things are what has driven me to her campaign. And in the end, it's the one thing, the one hope we have, that we can actually turn the military-industrial complex off, or at least subdue it greatly to a point where it's no longer running the show. We need a commander-in-chief. We don't need somebody who needs a translator in between her and John Bolton. And I'm sure Tulsi gets, the White House. John Bolton will be packing his bag very quickly and won't be seen again, hopefully. At least in government, he won't ever be seen again. We can only hope for that. Alright, so I'm done with this video. Don't forget to donate to Tulsi, tulsi2020.com. 8,000, that's all she needs. She's going to be on the debate stage, people. She's going to get there. She's got until, I think, April 15th, so it's going to be close, but I think she's going to get there. And let's just keep donating. Let's not stop, because we need her voice. And once that voice gets heard, who knows what's going to happen. This could be one of the greatest presidential campaigns ever in history, because it's for us. And that's the most important thing. Not because it's Hollywood, not because it's glamour. It's just because it's for us, and we need this. And Tulsi is the right person at the right time. All right, see you soon, everybody.